What's up, folks? Outlaw Lotus here. Happy day after conception. So, Thumb's doing good, folks. Got a little bit of a range of motion to show off for you. I mean, obviously things are looking really good. I've got really good range of motion. I can bend it pretty well, and don't really have any kind of struggles and stuff with using a mouse or keyboard or even a controller. I can use an analog stick now. So, jumping back into console gaming now officially. So I should be able to throw that back into stream rotation for this season whenever y'all ask for it. And we'll see what else we can kind of throw in there once in a while. The Sonic movie is out, and it's not that bad from what we can tell. Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes kind of have average scores for it, but the audience seems to be pretty happy. And look at Yongya's face. Look at his face. Look at his face. And then so I would recommend, if you want like a kind of a feel-good movie, he said it, Young said it best, he called it kind of like comfort food. So if you want like a feel-good family movie, I would probably take you and the kids and go see that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go see it just because I'm a big Sonic fan, and well, I mean, I grew up with the Sega Genesis, so of course I'm going to go see a Sonic movie and listen to my cat come in here and cry for attention. What is it, River? She says hi, y'all. The PlayStation 5 is going to be coming out. Obviously, the holiday season's got some new consoles on the way, and it costs about $450 to make. I know that's going to like scare some people, but just bear in mind how much the PS4 cost when it came out, and kind of each subsequent system cost more and more. The technology is getting more expensive. There's inflation to consider, all this stuff. The long story short, the Xbox One or the Xbox X series that's coming out, Sony's going to wait on that to come out before they determine what the actual sale price is going to be. Probably won't be cheap. I would be surprised and also happy if it's $600 or less. Does it mean it's going to keep me from buying it? Not necessarily. I'm going to try and save my money and get one, because backwards compatibility is kind of a big deal. Electronic Arts is being sued. Of course they are. Over what? FIFA, of course, by some French attorneys. And there's some folks all over Europe now that are jumping on this bandwagon. Not really lawmakers per se, lawyers are jumping on to sue them over the microtransactions. They're calling for more legislation. This is a problem that's not going to go away, folks. Microtransactions are bullshit, and you got to think, the rumors are abound that you got a lot of companies out there that want to start throwing microtransactions into their single-player games. Thank God Doom Eternal's not going to do this, but Jedi Fallen Order is an example that EA needs to look at to show that they don't need to depend on microtransactions. They can sit there and depend on a AAA studio to deliver an absolutely fucking phenomenal product, and you know what the result is. We all saw what that result was. So, I don't know. This problem's not going to go away. It's going to be a recurring story. It's going to be spoken about ad nauseum, so I don't want to hang on this topic too long, but just know it's a problem that's not going to go away, and when anything significantly forward develops against microtransactions, you'll hear it from me, or Young who will always beat me to the punch on that, but for those who follow my channel, you'll hear it from me sooner or later. I'm just hoping that they finally get some sense to avoid microtransactions and stop depending on it before they get legislated on. Blizzard still sucks at apologies. We all know how that went with the whole Blitzchung deal from the Hearthstone tournament, from the whole Hong Kong protests and such. And, well, they have a very empty promise to offer for how bad Warcraft 3 was. They basically kind of said, sorry, it wasn't how you wanted it. Folks, we've seen a lot of remasters come out over the last couple of years, and we've never heard a story about it falling flat on its face before Warcraft 3 came out. Warcraft 3 being driven by Blizzard, everybody kind of holds Blizzard to a higher standard because there's an expectation that comes with a game developed by Blizzard. And if they're not meeting that expectation, they're going to get criticized. And look, I prefer Warcraft 2 in the classic 2D sprite style RTS games to the 3D model-driven Warcraft 3 that essentially served as the template for early WoW. But if the remaster sucks, which by the way it does, it sucks, and Blizzard's going to get called out for it. That's just the way it is. But you know what? At least they're offering refunds. They finally got to that. That was something that was going to be really bad. I mean, it was to the point to where like people were getting banned from the forums for showing folks how to go through the refund process. Come on, Blizzard, you're better than this. First, the whole freaking Hong Kong protest bending the knee to China, and now it takes you this long to admit when you're wrong. Fuck off, man. This is why I still don't have the Blizzard launcher installed. Oh, speaking of other bad, shitty news, Fallout 76. Boy, if I could go 1 week without Fallout 76 somehow ending up in the fucking gaming news, that would be a goddamn miracle. Wouldn't it, Brother Hal? What do you think the latest hack is this time? Well, there's a new one called Erectus, which apparently is named after the guy who came up with the inventory hack to begin with. And it's a tool that, by the way, we really wish people would stop showing videos of it because its overlay looks an awful lot like Reshade. And I don't want Reshade to get mistakenly banned because they're two different things. The Erectus mod is basically like an ESP tool that lets you see items and players through objects and the fog of war. You get the nuclear winter mode in that game that you can literally see through and see where all the players on the map are. That's not fair. I mean, that's a complete egregious violation of really kind of any kind of terms of service that you're going to be signing when you go on to play a live service or MMO game of whatever the fuck. I'm flustered that Fallout 76 still seems to be beset by hacks. This hasn't stopped, and it doesn't seem like it's going to stop. It's guys, folks. Is anybody else wondering why Bethesda hasn't just pushed the reset button and started over like EA's doing with Anthem? Hopefully EA comes through with Anthem 2.0 the same way Final Fantasy 14 did with Realm Reborn. I'm not counting on it because, EA, but we'll see. Speaking of Anthem, apparently it's so dead, or its devs are so lazy, that they've left their Christmas decorations up. I can relate. Can we take him down, please? How'd that get up there? Harry, I'm going to take the Christmas decorations down. Sorry, dude. I promise. Some better news. So, Destiny 2, moving forward as it always is. It's not dead. It's still kicking around. People were, like, crushing this fractaling donation goal. I mean, I think we were, 6 billion or whatever the last check. What the hell, man? We've blown through the level 5 threshold on that sucker long ago. We're going to be done with it before we know it. Crimson Days is going on. It's the Valentine's Day related event that goes on every year. There's a cute little pair of sparrows that you can link up together with friends. The Vow is back. It's got some of the best rolls you can possibly get. It's not quite as fast as Hush, which was the pinnacle bow you could get from Gambit, but it's there, and especially something that you might want a different kind of style on. The Vow is definitely a bow you want to look at getting because it's pretty slick and it's accurate. Iron Banner, last one of the season, is next week at Reset on Tuesday. So make sure if you haven't finished your quest yet, make sure you get that done. And news for me, gaming-wise, is the stream season starts next weekend. It'll be next Sunday. If I've got time, I'll do some pre-streaming this week. I'd like to get some anniversary stuff in for Star Trek Online on Tuesday. Time permitting, of course, as always. Real life's obviously been busy. That's usually why I don't start streaming until February every year. It's typically until the anniversary time of Star Wars Galaxy's Legends. I don't really push forward with any kind of particular streaming commitment. So I'm going to try and get a solid 9-10 months out of streaming this year, of being consistent with it and try and see how that works with viewership and all that. We'll see how that goes. The promised, aforementioned military news video that I've been talking about for a while now, that's now going to be a pretty beefy story, is going to be out Monday for President's Day. How ironic. And we'll talk more about that then. And speaking of Star Wars Galaxy's Legends, backtracking here a little bit, the Ewok Festival will have started, so if you like hugging Ewoks, cool, go for it. Otherwise, you can go roast them on Endor if it makes you happy. And then at the end of the month, the 4th anniversary for Star Wars Galaxy's Legends goes live, and that'll about wrap it up for this week. As always, I wanted to be candid with you all this time, though. That's why it's on cam and not video game footage. Every once in a while, I will do this to switch gears a little bit, just so y'all can see the progress on the glorious beard of wisdom and how good my thumb is doing. So, as always, thanks a lot for tuning in. Keep slack, John, and quick drawn. Outlaw Lotus, signing out.